You know that feeling, self-esteem. It's this powerful, kind of mysterious force in our lives, isn't it? It can make you feel like you're on top of the world or like you're at the bottom of a hole. But what is this thing really? And why does it have such an iron grip on us? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. Yeah, this is the big question, right? Why does our internal sense of our own value feel so fragile, yet so absolutely critical for just getting through the day? I bet you felt this yourself. Think about it. You get one tiny piece of positive feedback. Someone at work says, "Hey, nice job on that." Or a friend just praises something small you did. And boom, your whole day is made. You're walking on air, the world just seems brighter. But as we all know, the flip side is way, way more powerful. Now picture one single little critique, a throwaway comment from a colleague, an email with a tone that's just a little bit off, or even just the feeling that you disappointed someone. And just like that, it's over. The glow is gone, and you spend the rest of the week replaying that one moment, questioning everything. How can one tiny negative thing completely overshadow dozens of positive ones? I mean, the math just feels wrong. So what's going on here? How do we explain this completely lopsided power? Well, social psychology actually offers two really powerful and really different ways of thinking about what self-esteem is actually for. So on one side, you have this idea called the social mirror, which says self-esteem is all about our place in the group. And on the other, you've got something way more intense, the existential shield. This theory argues it's our defense against the terror of our own mortality. Let's start with the social mirror. So this theory sees self-esteem as this constant, moving process of social feedback. It's not just about feeling good about yourself. It's about feeling seen and feeling understood by the people around you. At the heart of this idea is something called identity theory, and it suggests that our sense of self is really made up of a bunch of different identities, like you're a parent, you're an employee, you're a friend, and your self-esteem then comes directly from how well the world around you recognizes and confirms you in those roles. And this whole thing works like a nonstop feedback loop. It all starts with your internal identity standard, a belief you have about yourself, like, I am a good leader. Then you're constantly scanning our environment for social feedback that confirms that idea. How is your team responding to you? And if you sense that the feedback isn't lining up, you actually adjust your behavior to try and bring it back in line. It's this constant unconscious calibration we're all doing. The payoff for all that work is a little thing called self-verification. When you successfully get other people to see you the way you see yourself, you feel validated. And that feeling right there is that surge of self-esteem. It's that deep satisfaction of knowing that your internal world has been confirmed by the outside world. Identity theory also splits self-esteem into two different flavors. First, there's worth-based esteem. That's the feeling of being valued and accepted by the group, that you belong. Then there's efficacy-based esteem, which is the feeling of being competent and effective in your role. And here's the thing, you really need both to feel whole. You need to be good at something, and you need the group to value you for it. Okay, so let's shift gears to our second theory, which, I gotta tell you, takes a much deeper, more philosophical turn. This theory argues that our need for self-esteem isn't just about social belonging. It's about managing a terrifying, uniquely human awareness. This is terror management theory, and it starts with a pretty stark idea. Unlike other animals, we humans are cursed with the knowledge that we are inevitably going to die. This awareness creates this potential for paralyzing terror that we have to constantly manage, or buffer. So how do we manage it? We don't face this dread alone. As a species, we build these huge, shared belief systems. We call them cultural worldviews. There are shared stories about reality, about value, about purpose. And these systems give us the sense that life is more than just a brief, meaningless flash. This cultural worldview is our shield. It can be a religion promising an afterlife, a national identity promising that you're part of something that will outlive you, or it could even be a devotion to science or art, believing you're contributing to a legacy. It promises that you can achieve a kind of symbolic immortality. The writer Ernest Becker, whose work inspired all of this, put it beautifully. We build temples and skyscrapers and families because we need to believe that what we create, and by extension our lives, has a meaning that goes beyond our own physical death. And this brings us right back to self-esteem. According to this theory, self-esteem is simply the feeling that you are a valuable contributor to this big, meaningful, death-defying cultural project. It's that deep personal conviction that your life matters within the grand scheme of things that your culture has laid out. Okay, so we have two theories explaining why self-esteem is so important. But what happens when our self-esteem takes a hit? What actually breaks down according to each of these models?
Well, for the social mirror theory, when you fail at self-verification, it's like the mirror cracks. It causes immediate social problems. You feel anxious, disconnected, your relationships might get unstable. But for the existential shield theory, man, the stakes are so much higher. A threat to your self-esteem actually weakens your psychological shield, and that allows that terrifying, deep-seated anxiety about your own mortality to start leaking through. So when you look at them, these two ideas seem worlds apart, don't they? One is about day-to-day social stuff. The other is about our deepest existential fears. So which one is right? Are they competing?
But here's the fascinating part. They aren't competing at all. They actually fit together perfectly. They're just describing two different layers of the very same fundamental human need.
This is where it all connects. Think about it. Those social roles we try so hard to verify in our social mirror, being a good parent, a successful professional, where do those roles even come from? They are the standards of value given to us by our cultural worldview. We use the day-to-day mirror of society to prove to ourselves that we are living a meaningful life, and in doing so, we keep our existential shields strong.
Ultimately, this brings all this big psychology right back to you. The roles you play, the values you hold, the feedback you look for, it's all part of this incredibly intricate system designed to make you feel both seen by others and safe in the universe. So, it's worth asking yourself, what builds your shield and mirror?